100 people already. Big J checking in from the road. Big J here, post-workout, having a decaf coffee. Finally got in the gym today. I'm not sure how long I've been out of the gym. I can remember I was in the Chicago area, and I trained it in LA Fitness that day. I believe it was a Saturday or a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. All I can remember is that I went to have lunch at this wing establishment near the truck stop, and by then sports had been canceled, so it was a sports bar. There was absolutely nothing on TV. And the bartender who was serving us got really upset, and she's like, shit, the governor of Illinois just closed all restaurants. So that's the last day I worked out. But I believe the Illinois governor shut everything down before Trump recommended governors do that. So, finally got back in the gym. And I'll tell you what, I can tell that my body is fucking healed up and fresh and ready to get fucking strong again. Because before the shutdown, I was in pain during all my warm-up sets. Today, when I picked up 135, I felt like I could bend the fucking bar with my hands. And just as I was warming up, my fucking shoulders just felt solid. Like they had fucking concrete in them. They were just solid. There was no moving around, no nothing. So, and I even skipped fucking 185. And when I'm in pain, I usually go 135, 185, 225. But not today. I did a set of fucking 10 with 135. And I was like, holy fuck, that feels fucking good. So I just threw 45s on. And I went right to 2 1/4. And I think I did another set of 10. And I'm just like, holy shit. I was planning on, my first workout back after, I don't know if it's 6, 7, 8 weeks. Somewhere in there. Probably about 6 weeks. Yeah, at least 6 weeks. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to, fuck it. I was going to do sets of 10 with 225. Fuck it, I feel really good. Let's just do sets of 3 with 275. Do more of a strength workout, where I was going to do more of a conditioning workout. So I throw the 25s on, got 275 on the bar. I do my set of 3. And, after all this time off, even for someone with my strength, 275 feels heavy when you've taken that much time off. And I'm like, holy shit, I did my set of 3, and they fucked it. No pain. And this is only my third set. Usually I'm still in pain on my third set. I haven't warmed up, and I don't have enough blood flow yet. So I'm like, fuck it, man. Just fuck it. We're going to go 315. I haven't touched a goddamn weight in probably 40 days. Because today's 39 days? Something like that. Anyway, throw 315 on. And I'm still thinking I'm going to do like a 3 sets of 3. Just keep it casual. And I do those first couple reps with 315. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to be here for long doing, multiple sets. So I just kept going. Thought maybe I'll stop at 5. Then I'm like, I'll stop at 6. Then I'm like, I'll stop at 8. Then I'm like, fuck it. 315 for 9 mathematically makes you a 405 bencher. If you can do 3 plates for 9, you can do 4 plates for 1. So I did the 315 for 9, and I swear to God, I probably could have got goddamn 12. Easy. And I rack it, and then I moved over to the incline and just did 135 for 2 sets of 15, just to get a little pump in the upper pec after doing a bench. And then I came back to the flat, just get a little tricep pump, just did 135 for 2 sets of 15, and get a little tricep pump in there after training the pecs, and called it a day. That's all I did. And holy shit, do I feel fucking good. Oh my God. Now I understand why some people take a month off every year. Now, it doesn't hurt that while the gyms were closed, I was also pinning DECA to try and maintain my muscle. So I got that going for me. Which, after the way I felt today, I think that choosing DECA to run while the gyms were closed turned out to be a brilliant decision. I don't think I could have picked a better compound to try and put a force field around my muscle than DECA. So I know that's bro science, and I know a lot of you young little assholes that think you know science, and you're on all these bodybuilding forums, and you chit-chat with all these gurus. You probably think I don't know shit. Hey, maybe I don't know shit, but I know how I feel, and I feel fucking great. One workout in. And taking 6 weeks off, after, a nice extended layoff, I don't think I've ever come back, first bench workout back, and done a 315 for 9. So I'm way ahead of the program. So, I don't know. It's so weird getting back in the gym. One goddamn workout. It must be the endorphins that get released in your brain, because I feel like everything's better, and nothing's fucking changed. Still fat, still homeless, still got a drinking problem, but I feel great. Deca pecker, beer swilling, 9 repping, fat coont. That's not nice. Oh, man, yeah, I can't say enough good things about that DECA that I did. I got a hold of some DECA 300, and I was doing 2 cc's a week the first couple weeks, and then the gyms closed. Whoa, that really fucked me up. So luckily, when the gyms closed, I cut back to just doing 1 cc a week, went into muscle preservation mode. And I don't think doing 2 cc's would have done me any good. So, during the gym shutdown, I know you guys think it's a lot, because I was doing basically a gram of anabolics a week, 1,000 milligrams. I was doing Test 400, EQ 300, and DECA 300. 1 shot a week with 3 different compounds. And I swear to God, I think that combo of Test, EQ, and DECA, just 1 shot a week, put a fucking force field around my muscles, because I feel ready to go. The way my deltoids felt today while I was benching, I've never felt that kind of bulging in like my outer delts, which were really just more of a stabilizer for the bench. Your front delts help you a little bit, but not a lot. It's mostly, but I felt like my fucking side delts were bulging while I was benching. It was a weird fucking feeling, but a good feeling. So, don't get PJ Braun delts. I've tried to train delts in the past, and if I add side laterals to my routine, my shoulder joints wind up getting so sore, I can't do the things I enjoy. So why train middle deltoid to please other people when it gets me so sore and burned out? I can't enjoy what I like to do. I like to do what I did today: bench, incline, and then come back to the flat bench and do a close grip. 3 exercises I enjoy. Sometimes I won't do the incline and I'll throw a decline in there instead, which is real good for your shoulders. If your shoulders need a rest, swap out the decline for your incline. And then they didn't have one at Anytime Fitness, but I like to finish on my pressing day with a hammer strength shoulder press. I don't like to do shoulders with free weights anymore. It's just not worth it. I'm just there at the end. I just want to do a couple sets of machine shoulder press just to get a little bit of blood in there, so I'm not completely neglecting my deltoids. But that's just me. Not saying it's the best way, not saying it's the only way, just saying it's the way that works for me. So I am at the Florida-Georgia line right now. I'm going to be in Florida tomorrow. I could have got there tonight. I got a delivery in the morning. But I wanted to stop short so that I could eat in a fucking real restaurant tonight in Georgia. Because Georgia is open for business, people. The gyms are open. The restaurants are open. It's fucking awesome. I wish I could stay in Georgia for 2 weeks. So anyway, I'm all wound up. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Brad and I already talked about filming. We're going to do some garage workouts at Brad's house. And maybe towards the end, there might be some beer chug challenges. And we'll make sure we're done with any kind of dangerous lifting. Maybe we'll have after we do bench and incline and all the dangerous stuff, maybe we'll do a beer chug tricep push down. You got to chug a beer and then do as many tricep push downs as you can. Oh. I can't believe you guys are really that concerned with this COVID-19. It is I know if you're dead from COVID-19, it seems really serious. But dude, here in the United States, we've only lost 60,000 people. That's less than a bad flu season. We didn't need to ruin our economy, The COVID-19, it's really bad for the elderly and people with compromised immune systems. We should have quarantined those 2 groups immediately. And then later on, once more data started to come in, they figured out, I saw a statistic that in the United States, 47% of the deaths from COVID-19, the people had obesity. Now, obesity is not a direct link to death, but look at the 2 things that obesity can cause, and these are the 2 things that the COVID-19 really preys on: hypertension, which is high blood pressure, and diabetes. So we should have quarantined the elderly, people with compromised immune systems, people with diabetes, people with hypertension. We should have just put those people on a strict quarantine where family members could just bring them groceries and leave it on the fucking front porch. Because those people, all of us quarantining does not help those people. those people have to stay quarantined. Those people, those four major groups I just mentioned, they can't go out right now. It may be safe for you and I to go out right now. It's sure not safe for those four groups right now. If you're over 65, a little bit heavy, diabetic, you need to stay quarantined. But we can't ruin our fucking economy to protect such a small segment of our population. I mean, I'm sorry. Old people are going to die, brah. If it happens a little early, it happens a little early. I know that sounds cold, but if we don't keep the economy rolling, we're all going to die. Jay is 40% body fat, saying he's not at risk, but people with diabetes are. I don't think I'm 40%, brah. I'll bet you I'm 30. I'll bet you a third of my body weight is just pure blubber. Because at 30% body weight, that would probably put me up on a bodybuilding stage at about 240. And I think I could do that. What do you think about Olympic skeet shooting? Is it a real sport? Yes and no. I mean, I think skeet shooting is cool. But anytime you take something to such a fucking extreme, it gets a certain gayness quality to it. Like, name a sport, and when you take it to the ultimate extreme, it gets a little creepy and fucking gay. Like people that take bodybuilding so fucking serious. Or people that take powerlifting. Powerlifters are real weird, man. Those guys with the shirts and the suits. And they won't even do a set of curls. I mean, come on, man. You know, anything taken to an extreme gets creepy for me. You know, maybe you should be good at a couple different things, you know? Like maybe you do some bodybuilding, you do a little powerlifting, you know, you mix in a little strongman. Maybe, you know, you want to get some pussy, you know, you might do some CrossFit just to get laid. But I don't know. Badminton's fun, man. I mean, if you got a backyard party with, you know, with a keg and a badminton fucking couple of drunks, you know, some drunk sluts playing badminton, what's wrong with that? Can probably spank them with those badminton rackets, leave some good marks on their ass. Jay, you also have sleep apnea. Actually, since I've gained weight during this gym shutdown, I've noticed my sleep apnea is much worse. My sleep apnea has gotten much worse in the past 3-4 weeks. Why aren't you drinking your booze? Because I quit. I'm drinking coffee. Oh. I'm all wound up. I can't wait to get home. I got a delivery in Florida near Gainesville tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then I'm picking up another load in Orlando that's going to Fort Myers, Florida. But it doesn't deliver till Monday. So I'm going to be over on the west side of the state near Fort Myers somewhere all weekend when all my friends and family are on the Atlantic side. So I don't know when I'll get home. Tuesday? I don't know. You guys like the fucking Nazi look like that? Or do you like it pushed back a little, like a little sportier? How many beers do you reckon you could consume in 24 hours? I'm not a duration drinker. I'm more of a sprinter. I don't. I have no desire to outdrink somebody as far as hours in the day. You know, I like to drink my, I like to drink it. I like to drink it. You know what I think is about the perfect buzz for me? I like to drink about a gallon of malt liquor pretty quickly. That was just my first 25 or 24 ouncer. What are they? .24 ounce. What you guys just saw me drink was 24 ounces. And I'm going to drink about 5 of them. So, what's that, 150 ounces? No, 125. 120, well, a little less. Whatever. So a gallon is what, 128 ounces? So I'm going to drink about a gallon of beer. And you guys... It depends on the state. Some states have the 25 ouncer. Some states have the 24. Gallon of malt liquor. I drank more than a gallon of malt liquor. Do you piss in the truck while driving? No, I piss in an empty water jug. And once it's full, I throw it out the window at a car that has a Hillary Clinton sticker on it. Brad is going live. Go live with him, bully. Oh, he could ask me. Michigan is fucked up, man. See, a lot of those houses that people are still living in Detroit, people in Detroit are still living, they're like camping in condemned houses that don't have electricity and don't have water. So, how do you wash your hands with no hot water? You got no electricity, so you can't make, even if you had water, you got no electricity, you can't make the water hot. Yeah, Detroit's fucked because the I wouldn't call them homeless people, but people that, you know, their house got foreclosed on and they never moved out, and the bank doesn't really want the house, so the bank isn't kicking them out. So people are like just squatting in these empty shells of a home with no utilities. That's why it's so bad in Detroit. You can read what you want. You can listen to the blame Obama. No, that's stupid. Who we blame? It really goes back to the General Motors strike of 1970 that pretty much crippled General Motors. So General Motors said, you know what? These Detroit auto workers, these spoiled fucking brats, they're never going to put us in that situation ever again. So after the strike of 70, GM started building plants, you know, in Canada and Mexico. Said, we'll show these fuckers, this local chapter of the United Auto Workers in Detroit, we'll show these fuckers. We'll start building cars other places. So you had that situation going on. And then you had the oil embargo of, I believe, 1973, something like that, when OPEC jacked up the price of fucking oil. I think it was 73, when there were long lines at the fucking fuel lanes. So Detroit was still building big gas guzzling fucking V8 cars. So people started buying Datsuns. You guys aren't even old enough to know what a Datsun is. I think Datsun became Nissan. Toyotas. There were no Hondas back then. It was mainly just Toyotas and Datsuns. So people abandoned buying American because the United States in the mid 70s was selling a lot of crap. Those cars all rusted the fuck out. You buy a fucking Ford, GM, or Chrysler built in the middle 70s, a couple winters and that thing's just a fucking rust bucket. So the union workers and then the manufacturer's making a shitty product. It all kind of culminated in the economy in Detroit just failing. So there's a lot of people to blame, but it goes back to the 1970. Labor started it all, and then after that, I blame management because they weren't ready for that oil embargo, and there were the Japs ready with the Datsuns and the fucking Toyotas, and that's when that shit all started. But a lot of people blame the fucking American consumer, like, oh, buy American, man. Well, I kind of agree with that, but here's the deal: if you are a capitalist and you believe in capitalism, the consumer decides who succeeds and who fails. See, if we were a socialist country, we wouldn't have allowed the Japanese cars in here. But we're not. We're capitalist. So the consumer decides who the winners and losers are. And the consumers decided the Japanese were going to be the winners, and the big fat and happy automotive companies in Detroit became the losers. So that's that. You can't be a capitalist and be buy American, man. Apply that to what's going on right now with China. The capitalists, ever since China opened up their markets, when was that, about 1993? Companies have been just taking all their business overseas, and Americans fucking ate it up. So what are we supposed to do? We're fucked. China makes so many of our fucking products, and we got to start building it on our own. But you can't make people. See, what we got to do is we got to get Americans by choice to buy American products. Like let's take ibuprofen, for example. Something like 90% of our ibuprofen, which is, you guys know it's Motrin, basically. 90% of our ibuprofen is made in China. Okay? So, if you got a headache, would you be willing to pay a nickel more to know that your ibuprofen was made in America? Of course you would. But the capitalists, the billionaire motherfuckers that they make the decision for you. See, they don't put the two on the shelf next to each other. What if you walked in there and you saw a little bottle of ibuprofen and it was $3, and then right next to it was a little bottle of ibuprofen that was $3.75, made in the USA. How many people would grab the one that said made in the USA? You would. Who cares about 75 fucking cents? But the globalists have taken that choice away from you. See, that's crony capitalism. That's not real capitalism. Capitalism, you should have a choice. Crony capitalism, they call it capitalism, but you really don't have a choice. You're buying fucking Chinese-made ibuprofen, whether you like it or not. Big J checking in with a 1939 German haircut. Yes. I wish I knew how to speak German. I could calm this shit down a little bit. Yeah, I need some gel. Stimulus. Yeah. Yeah, free market, that's a good word. I'm not for this stimulus. You know, I don't know. I we borrowed money to pay people to not work. It doesn't make sense. You don't need to borrow money to stimulate the American economy. The government handing out paychecks can never, and I mean never, duplicate what the American worker can do. It's not possible. Like, how many people were going to buy new campers and boats this year? You know, for summertime, you know, hey honey, the camper's getting a little old, let's go look at the new ones. Or hey honey, you know, now that we got this, now that we have 4 kids instead of 3, you know, that boat we got is just getting a little small. You know, once the kids are in high school, we're not even going to fit on that boat. So, you know, people would have been going to the dealerships looking at new boats, new campers. You think some fucking $1,200 fucking stimulus check, people are going to go buy a new boat or a new camper when they're afraid of losing their fucking job? Fuck no. Give me a fucking break. That's not a stimulus check. That's a fucking shut up and do as the government says check, is what that is. That's what they should call it. Keep your mouth shut and do as we say. Cash the check, keep your mouth shut, and do as we say. That's not a stimulus. Giving $1,200. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, most people are just using that money to fucking barely scrape by. You know, I mean, I've never bought groceries for a family of 4, but I imagine it can't be fucking fun. I mean, you know, it seems like just buying food for myself. I can't go in and out of a super Walmart and spend less than $50. It's pretty much impossible, because if all you need is a goddamn 2-liter, you don't go to super Walmart. It's too much of a pain in the ass. So every time you go to super Walmart, you know, $100, $100. Like today, I didn't even buy much shit, and I think my bill was $60. Jason has maggots for real? Yeah, I don't think we should have done the fucking bailouts for the companies. I mean, I don't know. I'm mixed about that. Like, I don't know enough about economics to really, like, the thought of giving Boeing aircraft money makes me fucking sick. But, see, I'm naive. I didn't know that if Boeing were to go bankrupt, how bad that would hurt the overall American economy. I didn't know one company could be that important to the American economy. It would be really bad if Boeing went out of fucking business. I mean, then Airbus in Europe would basically have a monopoly. So we need Boeing. As much as it really pains me to bail out fucking Boeing, it would have pained me more to let Boeing fail and let Airbus have a fucking monopoly. But I just heard on the radio, I think yesterday, that Airbus is in bad trouble too. I mean, the cost of a ticket is what, 25%? The airlines are charging about 25% of what they did at this time last year. I don't know. You got to be pretty stupid to get on an airplane right now anyway. No, my IG is not gone. I'm on probation with Instagram. Did you see Aladdin's introduction on Big Lenny's channel? Thoughts? No, I don't pay much attention to what Aladdin's up to. I don't know anything about Aladdin kicking Lenny out. Till I talk to the Delray Misfits myself, I don't believe any of this nonsense. Jay, what do you think about Sweden's economic policies? I really think Sweden did it the right way. Keeping everything open. I think my hat's off to whoever in Sweden had the balls to make that decision. You, sir, are a hero. Or madam. Sweden said, fuck you, coronavirus. Because a virus is going to sweep through the fucking population anyway. A virus is like honey badger. Honey badger don't give a shit. The virus doesn't give a shit. You want to fucking quarantine? Go for it. Try and hide, motherfucker. The minute you cocksuckers come out from hiding, I'm still here. And so, basically, until everyone gets it, and those who are going to die, and those who are going to conquer it and build up immunity, the thing will always be there. You can't hide from a virus. It just doesn't work that way. Like, we all, like, I've said it 100 times on my lives, or at least a dozen. We should have never shut down the schools. Because this thing isn't killing kids. So we should have just let the kids spread it around amongst themselves by eating each other's boogers and whatever they do. And then all the kids would have been immune to it. And here's the thing. You got to think like, well, Jay, what good does that do to the elderly people if the kids get it, but the kids aren't going to die anyway? Because it builds your herd immunity. The more people you have that are immune to it, the less places that virus has to land. See what I'm saying? Like, if a kid, if you keep the schools open, let me just back up for a second. If a child has already become immune to the coronavirus, they're not going to be a carrier. They're not going to go visit grandma in the fucking nursing home and kill grandma. But if you quarantine the kid and he doesn't build up immunity, and then you open up the schools and the businesses at a later date, and then at a later date, let's say the kid becomes a carrier, he can kill grandma. See what I'm saying? You want to build your herd immunity. We shut down the economy to save grandma. Or maybe our Uncle Ben, who has a bad immune system. Or maybe our Aunt Margaret, who's a diabetic. Or Uncle Jack, who's got high blood pressure. We shut down our economy for people that are going to die anyway. Because the virus is going to get them eventually. What the fuck do you guys are going to think is going to happen to those people next flu season? They're going to die. Next flu season, those people that didn't die because we quarantined are going to die because we don't have the herd immunity. If we would have quarantined the weak and the old and the people with compromised immunes and the people with hypertension and diabetes, we could have just let this fucking virus run wild and let everybody get it that wasn't fucking quarantined. But we would have quarantined our people that needed to be quarantined. And that's what we should have done. We should have done it the way Sweden did it. But the way they handled this fucking virus, my hat's off, sir, or madam, whatever your name is. They tried that in Italy. Yeah, but what about comparing to African Americans? Well, the reason it's killing so many African Americans is because what I mentioned earlier. They're 47% more likely than whites to have obesity. So they're more likely to have the two really bad conditions that put you at high risk to die from the coronavirus: hypertension and diabetes. It has nothing to do with race with African Americans. Italians made Ferrari. Yeah. I haven't seen the Ford versus Ferrari movie. I'll bet it's pretty fucking good. But that Ford that they built to compete against a Ferrari had a goddamn 7-liter V8 at a 427. That's badass right there. Same engine that was in the Shelby Cobra. And look at GM. Chevrolet put their own 7-liter in the Corvette, and back in the day they used to stomp on Ferraris. Enzo Ferrari, that guy stayed up nights worried about 7-liter fucking Corvettes. There's nothing more badass in the world than a 68, 69, 427 Corvette with a 4-speed. You can talk all the talk, but when it comes down to it, with a late 60s 427 Vet, I'm kicking your fucking ass. Fuck Ferrari. A lot of Italian people in New York, hence the death rate. Right. Aladdin woke up with Lenny sucking him off. I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, but Italians cook better than Swedes. That's a very, very good point. I'm not in a hurry to try any Swedish food, but I love Italian food. Except you don't own either. Fucker, I almost bought a 1969 Corvette before I bought my Pontiac GTO. You're clueless. In the mid-90s, when I bought my 1969 Pontiac GTO, I went to look at a fucking 69 427 Corvette. The thing was only fucking like 10.9, not even 11 grand. And it had a fucking genuine 427 engine, 4-speed transmission. It was a fucking convertible. But I bought a Pontiac GTO, which is a better car, you dumb fuck. I had a 69 Pontiac GTO with the Judge package. Fucking orange. The fucking quintessential muscle car of the fucking era, you fucking clown. Oh. Thoughts on Lenny moving to Canada? Why would Lenny move to Canada if Aladdin was kicking him out? I don't get it. You guys don't make sense. You're trying to get me to talk shit about Lenny, but the shit you're saying to try and get me wound up doesn't add up. So what's the truth? What happened between Lenny and Aladdin? I want the truth. And I don't even know if Brad knows the truth. I guarantee you Andrew doesn't. Andrew gives two fucks about what's happening with the Delray Misfits. He's had enough. You can't fit in a GTO. Dude, the 69 GTO was a big car. I'm pissing right now. In a milk jug. And then once it's full, and I get back on the expressway, I'll heave it at a fucking car with a Hillary Clinton fucking bumper sticker. Or a Bernie bro. You know what I don't get about those Bernie bros? They act like they're so tough in a big group, but when you... The typical Bernie bro, who could they beat up one-on-one? Nobody. I mean, who? I would love to, like, who's the toughest Bernie bro in the world? Like, that's a great question. Because there were probably some tough people that were for Hillary Clinton. Like, the toughest Hillary Clinton voter in the world was probably some pro boxer, lifelong Democrat, someone that could kick your ass. But who's the toughest Bernie bro in the world? I'm way behind on the questions. Bernie's wife, probably the toughest. Joe Rogan might be the toughest Bernie bro. I really... What is Joe Rogan's deal? Is he like... Did he dabble in the fucking MMA or what? See, you really can't use... If you're an established MMA fighter, you really can't go fucking full MMA on someone if you get in a little brawl at a restaurant or a bar or at a stadium. Because if you go full MMA on someone and they find out that you have experience training to hurt people at an MMA gym, and your attorney lets the judge somehow through the proceedings, and the judge finds out that you train at an MMA gym and you practice hurting people, you're fucked when it comes to sentencing time. You're absolutely fucked. That's why most people who are truly deadly MMA fighters, they don't street fight. They'd be stupid. They would lose. They would lose their entire bank account. Like, if I was a fucking top pro MMA fighter worth $100 million, I wouldn't go near a bar. You can't use those skills. It's no different than me being a pistol expert and shooting somebody. The cops fucked me over after one of my buddies said I was into MMA, even though I'm not. That's not cool. I feel bad for you if that's true. You need to kick your buddy's ass. I mean, how many people really know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? And so someone who's and for that shit to work, I would imagine you got to be like, you can't be like some green belt at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and think you're going to come up and kick my ass. Because that's not going to happen. Like, yeah, I just got my red belt. I'm a red belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Dude, all a red belt means is you got about 10 more years to become a black belt. You're still a loser. Yeah, I took a little I took fucking what did I take in college? It was a gym credit. I took Taekwondo in college. One semester of Taekwondo, and I got my yellow belt. Dude, if I went out and tried to beat someone up using Taekwondo, it would take about 2 seconds for me to be on my back. You gotta be good. You gotta be good at something. A blue belt can definitely kick your ass, Jay. I see, I don't know the whole deal. I mean, and that's another thing about, like, when people talk about how women in jiu-jitsu can beat up men. I mean, has Ronda Rousey ever been punched in the face by a man? Because, you know, like the great Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the fucking jaw. So this some blue belt chick, you know, might think, well, I'll beat that fat fucking truck driver powerlifter's ass. I'm a blue belt in Brazilian fucking jiu-jitsu. And then she gets jacked in the face by a fucking 300-pound fucking drunk slob. And her jaw's broke all of a sudden. See? She had a plan. She knew how to win. She had a plan to win. You write it all down on paper, she was going to win. But now she's got a broken jaw. There's fucking fat homeless truck driver just broke someone's jaw who's a blue belt in fucking jiu-jitsu. I have a brown belt. A popper 5665. Well, brown belt is a step below black. Brown belt, you're starting to get serious. Brown belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm probably going to shoot you. Boxing skills, MMA fighters all the time. Yeah, I want to agree with you so bad, bro. But 99% of all fights wind up on the ground within fucking 20 seconds. I mean, they're usually a street fight, there's only about 2 punches thrown before the motherfucking thing winds up on the motherfucking ground. So, I mean, I don't know. If I could just wave a magic wand and be really good at jiu-jitsu or be really good at boxing or maybe be like an NCAA champ heavyweight wrestler, I'm going to go with the heavyweight wrestler. I mean, a boxer's not going to get a chance to box someone who maybe won the Big Ten or won the SEC wrestling championship, he's just going to come in, grab a leg, take you down, make you look stupid. And like, if you got those kind of wrestling skills and you can put someone on the fucking ground, you don't even have to be that good of a striker. I mean, it doesn't take much to bloody someone's nose or black their eye. I mean, someone's nose can only bleed so much. So, a really good wrestler who's going to put you flat on your back and bloodies your nose and blacks your eye, but he's not a very good striker, he still did it good enough. What did he need? He didn't need to hit you harder. You're already on your back with a broken nose and a fucking black eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, there comes a point where striking isn't that important unless you're like a sucker punch artist, you know, and those are just clowns, you know. So I don't know. We've never really had a survival of the fittest. You put an MMA fighter in a ring, he will get KO'd by the 5th round. Well, I agree, because they can't use their little feet to protect themselves like a girl. Hell yeah. I would much... I don't have any professional fighting training. But if I had a professional boxer after me compared to an MMA guy, I'd be much more scared of that fucking boxer. Because he's going to punch you in the fucking face. What's some Brazilian guy going to do? Get you on the ground and get you in a submission hold? Okay, I tap out, bro. Sorry I called your wife a fat whore. You know, and it's over. You got me in a submission hold. Whereas a boxer is going to punch the fuck out of you. So anyway, I would choose to be the NCAA champ in wrestling over any other fighting discipline. Period. If you can win the NCAA in wrestling, you can pretty much beat the fuck out of anybody. Their skills are null and void. All right, time's out. Gotta go. Gotta run.